I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be why you should never trust deceptive women. Well, I'm speaking from personal experience. I've got an email here from a guy who's basically been living with his girlfriend. They've been together for about 9 months, and they had their first argument, apparently, while he was out of town. And now while he was out of town, she's apparently been texting some other guy and arranging to meet up. And because it sounds like from the gist of her email that she's kind of like a woman I used to date years ago. And what I learned in this situation, I really loved this girl. She was fucking drop-dead gorgeous. She was sexy as hell. She was amazing in bed. But the problem is that she had a devious tendency. And she even came right out and said, I can be very devious. And when obviously, the amount of time I dated her, I got to know her family very well. And even though they were very close and very loving towards one another, they often told little white lies to each other just because it was easier to tell a lie. Because when people lie, what's really going on is they're afraid that they're not going to be accepted and loved either for who they are or what they did. And so for a lot of people, it's just easier to bullshit and to lie, at least in their own mind. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into this email here, because what I learned about dating women like this is as much as the thing is, you want to have an objective mindset when you start dating a woman, especially when you start to fall for her, your feelings really start to build, because when that happens, we usually ignore all of the other signs of bad behavior like lying or deviousness. We see things, that's no big deal. She's great. She's beautiful. She fucks my brains out in the bedroom. Whatever it happens to be. And we tend to ignore those things. And so the idea is that you want to catch yourself and spot these signs of a low quality or low integrity woman as early as possible before you get too far down the road. And then, because if you're in love with a girl and then you find out she's a total liar, it makes it really hard to walk away, because you just keep hoping for things to get better. You just keep hoping that they're not going to be deceptive and devious and deceive you. But at the end of the day, they can't help themselves. Just like Dostoevsky said. He said, a man who lies to himself and believes his own lies becomes unable to recognize truth either in himself or in anyone else. And that's really something that you need to think about. So I'm going to jump right into this email here. And he says, I've been with my girlfriend for 9 months, and I had to go away for 30 days for work in Australia. At that point, we had not argued once. But a few weeks into the trip, we argued for the first time. She had always told me that she wanted me, and only me, that she loved me more than anything or anyone, that she would be a mess if she lost me. She also promised me that if other guys were to hit on her in my absence, that she would tell them no and have nothing to do with them. Also, that if our relationship was going through a rough patch, she wouldn't run to a past guy for a shoulder to cry on. Now, when I hear statements like that, it reminds me of like a politician. Like there's a big case that has been in the media, and I'm not going to mention it. But everybody's been looking at it's a legal case, and this particular prosecutor, after a lot of pressure from people in her district, it was amazing. I see this woman on TV, and she's a district attorney, and she says, now I'm not doing this for political gain. I'm not doing this for any reasons, to help my candidacy or help my political career. I mean, she comes out and fucking says this right on national TV. And I'm thinking, oh, that's exactly what she's doing. She's doing it exactly for political gain. It's just like when a person says, oh, hey, I'm honest. I do everything with honor and integrity. You can trust me. I'm an honest guy. Hey, don't worry. I won't fuck you over. I'm a Christian. When you hear people talking like that and saying shit like that, they're trying to cover up for what they really are. They're trying to make up for a lack of something. And so the idea is when you're being objective, hopefully, when you're dating a woman and you're really starting to like her, is that you got to look at these little things, these little white lies. You got to look for little inconsistencies where she tell you one thing and then it later turns out that it's not really the case. Because when you encounter women like this, they're great for sex playmates or to have an open relationship with. But as far as being exclusive with them, or especially if you're thinking about getting married to them, You got to keep in mind, if somebody is lying to you now, people can't change who they are. They can become a better version of themselves, but if somebody grew up in an environment like this particular ex-girlfriend of mine that I mentioned, they can't help themselves. They're always going to be a fucking liar. And no matter how much you love them or how much you hope or want them to be different than they are, they're simply going to be a liar. And if there's a moment in a relationship where the future is in doubt and they're fearful, they're usually going to act upon their irrational fears and go with lying or deceiving or going out with somebody else behind your back because they don't think the relationship's going to work out. And so they would rather line somebody else up or a replacement so they don't have to go through the pain of rejection. And that's what really weak and insecure women will do in this case. Even guys do the same thing. So he says, after our first argument, she completely wrote me off and started texting the guy she was with before me while I was away. And I would say actions speak louder than words. Isn't that exactly what she told you she would never do? And the first time you have an argument, she's calling a new guy an old flame. Meanwhile, she was assuring me the relationship was fine and as good as it ever was. She flirted with him, she sent him half-naked pictures, and he sent her a picture of his cock. What a nice guy. She also told him that they could possibly get together when her and I ended, and they arranged to meet. As far as I know, they never physically met up. I'd say there's a good chance she probably met up with him. I found this all out when I got back because the sex was lacking. Yeah, probably because some other dude was farming your lawn while you're away. You know, you never mow another man's lawn, but obviously it's like he didn't fucking care. She seemed different and secretive about this guy. I would ask if she'd texted him, and she would promise me she hadn't. I got a bridge to sell you, brother. It's a fucking great deal. I later found out that she has been texting him. Not while I was away, but throughout our entire relationship. I'm shocked that she lied. Not really. I mean, all men and women are predictable when you understand their model of the world and what motivates them. Because human beings will do more to avoid pain than they will do to gain pleasure. And that's why most people never achieve their goals and dreams, because to them it's too painful, it's too hard, it's too difficult. And so therefore they move towards the things that are easy and that they think will cause them less pain and hardship and fear in the future. So they settle for a life of desperation or quiet mediocrity, so to speak. Quiet desperation or mediocrity. I've given her a second chance and she has promised me she will never do this again. Well, there's a trends forecaster. His name's Gerald Celente. I like to listen in to hear what he has to say every once in a while because his fucking track record is pretty damn good. And he always says that current events form future trends. And so if she did it to you once, she'll probably fucking do it again if you give her the chance. Which is hard to believe, but I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt for now. And I would say, dude, you need to put the fucking crack pipe down right now. She promised she would tell me everything if any other guy showed interest or hit on her or whatever. Relevant or irrelevant, she promised to tell me. I found out recently that another guy she hasn't even met yet has been constantly hitting her up to meet, offering to pay for her to go see him. Like, I can tell you that guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. If he's trying to buy her, he's bribing her. He'll just get rejected. Even if she hooks up with him, maybe she'll get some money or some gifts, but she'll just use a guy like that because he's basically saying, please use me. He was surprised to find out her and I live together. Obviously, it doesn't seem to have deterred him, now does it? She didn't tell me anything. When I asked about if she said it doesn't matter, she said, I'm not interested in him, of course. But if that's the case, why wouldn't she tell me? Now she just deletes the evidence. What do I do? Please help. So the reason she doesn't tell you is because she's a fucking liar. I mean, that's the bottom line. She can't help herself. And I'm sure she's probably a lot of fun, just like my old girlfriend. But, you know, I learned the hard way, and it was really tough when we broke up. But it had to fucking be done because the woman I dated after her was absolutely fucking outstanding. She was honest. I could trust her. She was faithful. She was loyal. She always told me what was fucking going on. And we're still great friends to this day. So what would I do in this situation if I were you? I mean, you live with this girl, so that really sucks. But here's the bottom line. You know where you stand with her. You know that she's a liar. You know she's devious. The reason she lies is because she's not comfortable being herself. And she lies because she feels that you won't accept her or tolerate her behavior. And so at the end of the day, she's not good girlfriend material. She's not good exclusive relationship material, or especially marriage material. If you want to have an exclusive monogamous relationship, this is absolutely not the kind of woman you want to have it with. The only kind of relationship you should have with her is a sex playmate, keep her as a sex playmate, or a friends with benefits type of, or an open relationship where both of you are allowed to date and sleep with whoever you want and without any judgment. And that's really the only thing you can do with a girl like this, because she's not going to change. And if you think you can get her to change, you're totally fucking bullshitting yourself. But, go ahead and don't doubt me if you want, and eventually you're going to learn the hard way like I did. But like I said, the best thing that you can do is get busy meeting and dating some other women, hooking up with some other women, so you have some options, because she's obviously already doing that. And has been doing that for the whole 9 months that you guys have been together. And so that's really all you can do. And then maybe eventually what will happen is, if you do this, eventually you're going to meet a woman who you really like and who's more trustworthy and who has integrity, and you just slowly gravitate out of the relationship that you have with her. Or you can end it and kick her out, and you can go that route. I mean, it's totally up to you. I'm just telling you that there's no way she'll ever become a great girl to have a monogamous relationship with. She's just incapable of being honest. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, you got to have trust. Because if there is no trust, there can't be love. And you'll never be comfortable. I mean, otherwise you'll be sleeping with one eye open the rest of your life, and that ain't a fun way to go. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the bottom of your website, if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button, which is located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen, and just donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab at the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs max detailing your situation. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the best way is to book a paid phone coaching session with me right away by clicking the Products tab, which is at the top of your screen. So just follow the instructions, and I will talk to you soon.